welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know, but my hair certainly feels like it's 1984 right now. It has gone nuts on me today. Must be we're due for a change in weather because my hair's getting very staticky. Right, today I have got a hair on my nose which was tickling me like mad. I apologise, as I was saying, now I can concentrate. Today I have got a review on this beautiful, actually quite 80s inspired eye look, and it's another new UK indie brand. It's the sister of the lady who runs Blush Tribe, and you know I love my Hasina palette, my Hasina 2 palette I should say, but this one is the Destiny palette from Certifeye. They are based in Chesham in Bucks. I know that because they had a return address label on the outside of the envelope, and I've stuck it on the back of my palette just to remind me. So if you want to see exactly how I achieved this look and just at which point my hair decided to go full, you, my friend, are in just the right place. Here comes a tutorial. Hey, welcome back from the intro. I will have already showed you the outside of this palette. This is by Certifeye, it's the Destiny palette. I keep getting my light flashing on it, sorry, I'll try and stop doing that. Now the woman that runs Certifeye is the sister of the woman who runs Blush Tribe. And as you know, I've got Hasina 2 from Blush Tribe, or if you've watched it in my videos you would know this. I've also got the Neelam pigment, which goes from purple to teal, which I have filmed with, and I've now got this new one, Jasmine, which as you can see is still sealed, I haven't used it yet, which is another greeny goldy pigment. So it's established I like Blush Tribe. So I thought I'd see what her sister can do. She's got, I think, 2 other palettes this shape in white packaging, which is brighter rainbow palettes. But because I've got the Slush palette from September Rose, I didn't feel drawn to getting those. Sorry, my eye is really watering on me today. That's why I haven't done my base yet before I finish doing my eyes. I'm waffling, and I know you want to see the inside of this palette, don't you? Ready? As you can see, no mirror, but look at those colours. Let me turn it sideways for you. Aren't they absolutely stunning? Now, I will insert swatches just here. The top row, going from my wrist towards my elbow, is Magician, Alchemy, Paranormal, Smooch, Dark Side, Mystic, Tonic, Sixth Sense and Psychic. And then the bottom row, again going for, sorry I don't know what's up with my voice today, again going from wrist to elbow, is Firestorm, Moss, Warped, Hex, Brew, Remedy, Enchant, Glass Ball and a Potion. Hi! Now, this actually arrived yesterday, but hands up, all honesty, I didn't have time to film with it. But I couldn't resist having just a little bit of a play. So I'm going to put a picture up here now of the eye look that I did yesterday, which as you can see I used the 2 greens, Moss and Dark Side, I then went in with Brew, which is one of those lovely chocolatey browns to deepen the crease, and used the Gorgeous Gold Tonic on my lid. Hello, I'm back. The lipstick is a Wet n Wild metallic one, if you're wondering, by the way. I really hope my voice improves throughout the course of this film. Let me have a bit of a... see if that helps. Right, I have my colour switch ready. I will of course be starting with my Spectrum B06. Let's get you zoomed in. Now, regular viewers know that I don't use eye primers because where I've got such deep set eyes, you can see how dark my dark circles look. I have a similar sort of staining on my top lid. Simply because my eyes are so deep set, all my veins are very close to the top of my skin. So, what I've got on there at the moment is the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in 0.5, which I have blended out and set with Coty Airspun. Now, when I look straight ahead, you can see all of my mobile eyelid. Ooh, my voice is going to wind me up when I'm editing this. If you don't see all of your eyelid, then you've either got a full or a half hooded lid. You can still follow my tutorials. All you have to do is get a slightly thinner brush like this, pick up the first crease colour and very gently mark out where you need your crease to fall. Obviously, this will reduce the amount of space between your crease and your brow. So raise your brow when you're applying the shadow, and if you still find it's reduced the amount of area you have to play with here, perhaps start off with a slightly more tapered blending brush. So rather than this one, maybe start off with something a little bit more like this. So you can see, still very lots of bristles but loosely packed, but just slightly narrower here, so it won't spread out quite as far. But you do need that one, by the way, was the Real Techniques base shadow brush. I don't know, it's starting to wear off, look. I think it was base shadow brush. Right, let's get going with putting some of these colours on my eyelids. Now, the most difficult colours to formulate are purples, blues, and then yellows and reds. You can see I'm really got watery eye this side. So, you know, I'm going to want to go in with these two because they're the most difficult colours to formulate, so if they go well, you can be pretty sure the rest of the palette's not going to be a bad palette. But I do need to start off with a slightly lighter shade, I think, through my crease. And I think I'm going to go for Smooch, which is a pink. I know, it sounds weird, but you know what I'm like for putting odd colours together? I let the colours call to me. Okay, now I sound like a weirdo. I know, long-term viewers are like, and you always sound like a bloody weirdo. I know. Right, I've dipped into Smooch, as you can see, and tapped off. Now, I'm starting off with windscreen wipers, and I always start from the outside edge because if more pigment goes down here, it's much easier to blend out here than it is over here with your nose in the way. So I start off at the edge of my, for me I can just follow my physical eyeball, for you it's wherever your crease needs to be. I'm just going to windscreen wiper gently, backwards and forwards, just to lay that pigment down. I'm holding the brush right at the end so I put as little pressure on my eyes as possible, because the skin on your eyelids is the thinnest skin on your body, and you'll see when I come to do this one, where this eye got pulled around a lot when I was a kid, and I mean like a 5, 6, 7 kid, you'll see that this eyelid actually moves and creases a lot more than this one does. Right. Dipping back into Smooch and tapping off. And now, because of the lovely movement of the eyelids, thanks to me being 44 and having lost a crap ton of weight, yeah, eyelids move. And the easiest way that I've found to ensure that you don't get any gaps in your eyeshadow is to do windscreen wipers or sycamore leaves. So again, you start at the outside edge, and you do little tiny circles in towards your nose, lift the brush up ever so slightly, reverse the direction, and come back out again. And you can see I'm not actually taking my brush off of my eye. And then lift it up again, reverse the direction, and come back in. Now, I like to take it to sort of 4 or 5 mils below the lowest part of my brow, because I am going to be adding a brow highlight, which is also new. Can't wait to play with the new highlighter. Right, when I get to this stage, I then do very, very short windscreen wipers, just up and down all over it, just to make sure it's all nicely blended out and we've got no harsh edges. I do struggle here because I've got quite a few crease lines, so I do have to work a little bit harder just here to get the pigment to blend. And I've noticed just recently, just on the edge of my crease here, I'm starting to find a little bit more difficult. But if you, like me, have a patch that won't blend, pick up some pigment and just pop it on without blending, just stamp it on like that. Okay. Ooh, I like this. This is pretty. Right. I'm now going to repeat what I've done on the other eye. I don't do the other eye off camera, and I don't speed up my tutorials, because long-term viewers will know that that used to really wind me up when I was first learning and following eyeshadow tutorials. And they'd speed it up, or they'd cut out half the blending. You're like, wait, how have you blended yours that quickly and mine's still a mess? Or they'd say, right, I'm just going to do the other eye off camera and I'll be back. And you're like, wait, what? I've now got to rewind this back to the start of the tutorial and try and repeat it in mirror image on the other eye. Are you kidding me? And I used to find that really frustrating, and I was constantly having to press pause, and then my screen lock would come on. So I always said, if ever I started a channel, which clearly I have, that I would not speed up tutorials. However, if you're in a rush to get to work, or you blend quicker than me, or you're confident enough to be able to remember which colours I put down in which order, then there's a widget down there somewhere that lets you change the speed, so you can watch me a little bit faster. I will look and sound a little bit like a chicken, but you know, if that makes you smile in the morning, so be it. So as you can see, I've just repeated exactly the same on this side, very gently gone over the edges, just to make sure I've got a nice, to quote John McCain, seamless blend. I'm going to tidy this bit up later. It is just where my eye's watering. That's why I've not put my foundation on yet. I'm hoping that it will stop watering soon. I like that. Right, you can see where I've tapped off. I now choose a different bit of the sponge just to clean off any pink pigment still left on the brush. So using the same one, my Spectrum B06, I am going to dip into Warped, which is the blue. Ooh, this is a lovely colour. Look at that. Proper cobalt blue. And I'm going to repeat, well, I'm going to repeat part of what I did before. I'm going to start off windscreen wipering, just like before, through my crease or wherever your crease needs to be. Now obviously because it's a blue and it's going on pink, it's going a little bit purple anyway, which I don't mind. This time, I'm going to pick up a little bit extra pigment. This time when I do my helicopters, rather than going across and then up and back, I'm just going to keep it at the same level. I'm just going to blend it literally just above that first line we've put down. I'm still going to reverse the direction to come back, and I'm still going to go across 2 or 3 times just to make sure we get a nice blend, no gaps. You can see that's blending out quite nicely on top of that pink. It is going a little bit purple, but I don't mind that because I'm going to be going in with, see what I mean, I'm having real trouble just here at the moment, but that's my eyes. It's doing it even with palettes that I've had for quite a while that I never had this problem with, I'm now having this problem with. So it is clearly my eye that's giving me the issue rather than the actual palette itself. If it's the palette, I will tell you, as you will see if you go and watch my palette review epic fail, where I give 100% honest review. It's the first time I've ever had to stop a review because I couldn't get a palette to work. So if you haven't already watched that one, when you finish watching this one, go and have a look at that one and you'll see why I call it an epic fail. Right, so I'm happy with that now because you can still see the pink, but the blue's now blended over it. I'm now going to clear any excess pigment off of my brush, dip back into the pink, and just use that just to really gently buff across the top, just where the two colours meet, partly to strengthen the pink and partly just to make sure we've got a nice blend between the two colours. Okay. And now I'm going to repeat that with the other eye. How's your day been? I've been blethering all this time and I haven't even asked you yet. I'm so rude, I do apologise. Or as my granddad would say, I do a jollopise. He was a funny man, my granddad. Right, as you can see, don't pull your eyelid like this unless it's already as crinkly as mine, otherwise it'll end up as crinkly as mine. You can see what I mean now about how it folds and how I end up with like stripes. That's a dead giveaway that you're getting older if you have stripes like that in your makeup. So this is why I have started using the helicoptering mode for blending shadows out, because I do find that that works so much better than because I used to just windscreen wipe all the way up, but I have now found that helicoptering is a far more efficient way of applying the shade. And one of my subscribers, and I'm actually subscribed to her channel, Nikki Raven, she's a lovely Dutch lady. She always used to do windscreen wipers backwards and forwards. I noticed recently she's been utilising this little circles one, and actually said in one of her videos, my circles are getting better. So the reason I keep stopping to talk to you is partly to talk to you and make this a little bit more interesting than just me slapping some colour on my face, but also because where I've got fibro, these tiny movements do hurt some days, and today's one of those days that it's actually hurting quite a bit. because it is a repetitive movement. It is very, very small circles that you're doing. But as I said, it's, for me, I've found it the quickest way of getting it on in a way that it doesn't then betray your age. Right, just dipping back into Smooch, just to blend where those two colours meet. I had a lovely compliment the other day. Someone was saying that my voice is very soothing, which for someone who's always hated the sound of their own voice is always a little bit strange to hear. Very lovely, but very strange to hear. Right, I'm now going to go in with a much more tapered brush. Let me show you. This is the one I was using before. This is the one I'm going in with now. So you can see, still loosely packed bristles, but much, much narrower here. If it was coming up to, if it was slightly more pinched at the top, it would be a pencil brush. But the bristles are just that little bit too flexible for me to class this as a pencil brush. This is actually a balm brush, and it's Crease Love and Happiness. One end has got this nice chunky but flat packer brush, and the other end has got this more tapered blending brush. Now this is the one I'm going to go in with on my crease, and I'm going to go in with that beautiful purple called Mystic. Right, now this one is the first one to kick up an awful lot in the pan. Kick up is not a problem, at least it means that pigment's going onto your brush. Don't blow the kick off away, because you can very gently pick it up next time round to continue with your blending, so you do not waste the pigment. Right, again, I'm just going to tap this pigment just on the outside edge, because I'm not sure actually whether it's going to come up as being darker than that blue or not. I'm working on muscle memory now because I can't see a damn thing with this eye shut. Let's try it. If it's not quite deep enough, then we'll go in and deepen it up with some black or something. Right, I'm just going to run that just through the crease itself. I think it's a little bit deeper, isn't it? And then what I'm going to do this time, rather than blending above the crease, I'm just blending on the crease. Now you'll see better with this eye because I can shut this eye. With this one, I'm just going to tilt my head back a little bit and look down, just so you can see what I mean. I'm literally buffing right on that line and coming back out again, reversing the direction but not lifting the brush up at all. I think that is a little bit deeper, isn't it? Yeah. And then just again gently buff this outside corner. I'm not doing a cut crease today, so I'm not too worried about this being particularly sharp. But I am going to go in with a shimmer on the lid. Just pop this purple on here. It's a really pretty purple actually. And then again through the crease. Oh yeah, it's definitely a darker shade, that's good. Don't even think I need to add any more pigment. I think I've got enough there just to blend that. And then, sorry, I was more talking to myself then than I was talking to you. Do you ever do that? Do you talk to yourself? I do it quite a lot. Well, I'm talking to my camera, obviously. But it's always nice when I get comments back from you, because at least then I feel like I haven't been sitting in my kitchen chatting away to myself. Goodness only knows what my neighbours must think when they hear me chuntering away in here day after day doing filming. So I do try and get as many films done as I can in a day. It's a little later starting today because I knew I was waiting on a delivery. So I'm not doing a foundation review today because I wouldn't be able to have it on for long enough before I have to go up and take it all off and go to bed. Right. Shall I put the, yeah, I think I'll put the shimmer on now. Normally I do my under eye, I do all the matte work before I go in with the shimmer, but obviously because I haven't got my foundation on yet, my white balance is going to come back to normal or what? Maybe. Now, there are 3 shimmers in here. Magician, Tonic and Glass Ball. Bearing in mind this is no primer or anything underneath them, and it was a very, very light swatch as well. I used the gold one yesterday, so I think I'll go in with Magician today, which is the slightly pink toned one. I'm going to go in initially with this nice detail brush, Spectrum A16, and I'm going to start off with sorry, I'm just rolling my eyes because the weather outside doesn't know what it wants to do, which is confusing the heck out of my camera. Right, I'm going to go in initially with a dry brush just to see what effect you can get with that. And I'm going in with the smaller brush just in the inner part of my eye. Now, if I don't use a glitter glue, I do get transfer up onto my upper lid throughout the day. Just because I've got deep set eyes, it's a similar problem that people with hooded eyes get. But you only really notice it if I wink at you or fall asleep and shut my eyes. Now when it's dry, I don't mind sort of brushing the pigment on like this. When it's wet, you'll see that I outline with the tip of the bristles and then I'll just pat the pigment on like that. But I mean, you can see there's a fair amount of shimmer going on there as it is. But I am going to try it wet just so you can see the difference. Right, I'm using this Obsession Pigment Boost. You can use anything. You can use Fix Plus or any other hydrating spray, because Fix Plus is not a setting spray. It won't extend the wear of your shadows. It's a hydrating spray, so it sort of blends all the powders together, all your face powder, your bronzer, your blush, your highlight. It just sort of melds them all together. You can use that. You can use a setting spray. You can just use fresh, clean water if you want. You can use a glitter glue. You can use whatever you like. But my personal preference at the moment is this Pigment Boost because I like the way it works with them. And it doesn't sting my eyes, which is always a good one. So, pigment on the brush, spray it with the Pigment Boost. And repeat what I've just done by going into that inner corner initially. Yeah, that makes a difference. You can definitely see the difference there, can't you? Because I don't like going back in with a wet brush, I always clean it off on the colour switch and then dry it off on my hand, because I always worry about going in with a wet brush into a palette because it can cause hard pan in some palettes and I don't want to risk that, thank you. So, same thing on this white. This is a So Eco brush. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, and they didn't indent the name onto the side of the brush, and where I've had it so long and I've washed it so many times, yep, you guessed it, names come off. So, pigment, brush, turn it round so you're not going to spray your hand, Ange. Spray the brush. And like I said, I tend to use the very tip of the bristles just to do my top line, and then just gently pack the pigment onto the lid. Sorry, I'm concentrating, can you tell? And I tend to go for a sort of diagonal slanting line coming down towards the edge of my eye, because I just find for my eye shape that's the most flattering look if I'm not doing a full lid. But when I'm not doing a cut crease, I do like to just see that darker bit just on the outside edge. I just think it adds definition to the eye, and because I've got almond shaped eyes, that works really well. But you do whatever shape works best for you. If you've got hooded eyes, my advice would be skip this, put glitter glue down and just pack the pigment down on top of the glitter glue, and then you'll have less movement of it during the day. So I'm now going to repeat that on this side, but with this one, for doing the inner corner, I do unfortunately have to stretch the eye out. As I've said to you, unless your eye is already as bad as mine, do not do this, or it will end up as bad as mine. If you imagine that the skin on your body is sort of letterhead paper, if you're going to get a letter in from a company, and the skin on the bottom of your feet is cardboard, and on your elbows to a certain extent they can be quite thick skinned as well. The skin on your face is like tissue paper, so treat it as gently as you would tissue paper. That's why you see these creams specifically for the eye area and specifically for the feet, because they are totally different from the skin on your hands and the rest of your body. Your face is, I suppose, newspapery sort of quality. If you've ever picked up a newspaper, I know there's some people who never have picked up a newspaper or a comic. If you imagine how thin that is compared to like a letterhead, that's the skin on your face, but the skin on your eyes and in your under eyes is literally the equivalent of tissue paper. So obviously you would use a much gentler cream on it and a much thinner cream, thinner consistency cream than you would do on the bottom of your feet. I like this look a lot. Right, I am going to pause you, and I think my eye has stopped watering enough for me to be able to put some foundation on. So I will do that. I'm just going to, using my Balm Crease Love and Happiness brush, I'm just going to dip back into that purple Mystic and just ever so gently buff at the edge here. So I'm very, very gently buffing that purple just over that pink, just so it's not such a harsh line and that it blends nicely with that purple that we'd laid down already. I like that. I'm liking this palette so far a lot. Can you tell? Right, as I said, I'm going to come back with foundation, face products, so blush, bronzer. I'll probably put the highlight on my inner corner and my brow, but I won't do the rest of my face highlight until I'm back with you. And I don't know whether I'm going to do liner today or not. If I'm going to do liner, I'll do that, and I'll do the mascara on my top lashes. And I'll be back to do under here to finish the look off. So please don't go anywhere, because I'm going to be back instantly for you. Hey! Right. Born This Way foundation, Physicians Formula bronzer, Tarte blush, Renaissance Flicks liner, L'Oreal Brow Expert, and Bad Gal Bang on my lashes. But now it is time to do. Oh, yeah, and my hair's gone very 80s. So let's zoom in and finish off the bottom bits here. As you can see, I've popped a bit of highlight here and here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Right, going in with my Balm Crease Love and Happiness and using the thick fuzzy end. I'm going to pick up. Actually, I was going to go for the purple, but I think I'll go for the blue, because obviously we haven't seen the true colour of that yet, have we? And I'm just going to buff that very gently along my bottom lash line, coming up to meet the highlight that I brought down a little bit. And the same this side. And yes, I flinch this side because being blind in this side, I don't have obviously any vision from it, so I have to rely on my viewfinder and muscle memory to not actually poke myself in the eye, which, if you've watched other tutorials, you'll know doesn't always go to plan. Do you know what, I like that so much, I think I'm going to pick up a little bit of the blue again on the fluffy end. Normally I go for a different colour to smoke it out with, but I actually like that blue, so I'm going to smoke it out with itself. I've gone very 80s. Perhaps that's why my hair went 80s on me. Perhaps it knew. It knew. You're going to see this look a couple of times. I might try and tame my hair a little bit, because I need to record a hell yeah, whoa no, because I'm very overdue for doing that. I missed last week's one because I had all sorts of stuff going on and quite honestly just didn't have the time to film one and then spend the hours and hours that it takes editing the pictures in. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of mascara just on those bottom lashes. I love this Bad Gal Bang, but it's not waterproof. I wish that it was. I mean, I do sometimes put this on, let it dry, and then go over it with one of my waterproof mascaras. But you do sometimes, when you do that, lose some of the volume that this one gives you. And don't get me wrong, I know Benefit's not cheap, but I do like the look that this gives me. Right, zooming back out. Yep. Grabbing a fan brush. It's time to show you what the mystery highlight is. It's a new Ofra one in their new packaging. To show you the old packaging, it was this. New packaging is magnetic. We now have a mirror, and the shade is Cloud 9, which is another Nikki Tutorials collab. So, because she's got two shades out. She's got this one and then another one. Space Baby, is it? Something like that. The other one is a blue purple shift to it, but I've already got a couple of highlights that do that. This one is a pink to peach, which I've not got. I've got pink, I've got peach. I've not got a pink to peach shift with a white base. So we're just going to pop a little bit of that on our nose. Top lip. Chin. Got to say, this isn't as blinding as her previous one. Her previous Ofra one. Glazed Donut is much, much brighter than this. A lot brighter than this, actually. In fact, I'd almost go to say I'm a little bit disappointed by this when you compare it to Glazed Donut. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty, but I was expecting the same kind of boom that I get from this one. Look, I'll show you what I mean. This is the Glazed Donut, which is her previous collab. Same fan brush. You see the difference? This one, I could stand at a cliff edge in a storm and be a lighthouse warning ships. The other one, not so much. That's a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I wonder if trying a different brush might work. Maybe it needs a firmer brush like the one that I use with my Jeffree Stars, this one, which is like a tapered teardrop. Let's see if this does any better. It's difficult to tell now I'm putting it over that, isn't it, really? But I think that is giving me a little bit more of the pinky peach coming through. Gotta say it, I'm actually a little bit disappointed by this highlight. I did not expect to say that. I was so impressed with our first one. Third new item I'm trying. I've got this LA Girl holographic gloss topper. As you can see, this one is shade Flashing Opal. Rah, rah, rah. Ooh, okay. It's a typical gloss applicator. Let's have a zoom in a minute. I'm just going to put this on straight over my natural lip. Might help you see what I was doing, wouldn't it? I quite like that. I always make a point of wiping those off. It's a bit of a tacky one. It's not gloopy, but you can feel you've got something on your lips, you know what I mean? Right, let's zoom you back out again. Oh no, that's the wrong way. Zoom you back out again. And now it is time for setting spray. And the setting spray for today is, as I've got a radiant foundation on, let's go for NYX Dewy Finish today. And liberally, when my phone's finished vibrating, douse the face. This is the point most people would stop. I'm a little bit extra. I'm not most people. Because long-term viewers will know, say it with me, when I've spent all this time putting the makeup on, I like it to stay put. Right. I will take some photos now and again through the day so we can see whether this eye look fades at all. But so far, if I stick the picture up here again of the look that I did yesterday with the greens, and then today I've used the purple and the blue. So I've used six shades? 8 shades. I've used 8 shades. And so far I really like it. The mattes have blended out fantastically. The shimmers still have shine even when you don't use them with a pigment boost or a setting spray. I really like this so far. Obviously I will continue to use this as I have all of my new palettes. I'm sort of rotating them round, and what I'll do a sum up palette review probably next week sometime, once I've played with this one enough to actually be able to give you my final thoughts on everything. But so far, that gets the double thumbs up from me. Highlight. I need to play with it with different brushes and see if I can get it to be as blinding as glazed donut before I pass my final judgment on it. Lip gloss is a lip gloss. Now obviously if I had a lipstick underneath we'd be able to see whether it does change the colour, but I didn't want to detract away from this beautiful eye look. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button for me, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell, and when you hit the bell, don't forget to choose all notifications so that you get told every time I put up another video. Talking of another video, why don't you pop over and see that palette fail if you haven't already watched it? Or if you have already watched it, why not see if there's a film you haven't watched yet? I've got, I think, over 70 or 80 that are live now that you can actually go through and view. Right. All that remains for me to say is you'll stay fabulous now. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.